This is Goshen TV.
Let's paint the picture of the scenario, the real thing that happened before you decided to leave. What was it? At what point did you make up your mind that, look, I'm going to leave the APC and go back to PDP?
Well, look, if you recall, my birthday just went by. Yeah. And I told myself that after my birthday, I would need to reassess my role. That did not include perhaps moving on to the PDP, but there were things which I would not like to discuss. I've worked closely with my colleagues, my associates in the APC, and I think I'm mature enough to chart a new course without talking about spent pellets. I imagine that I will not be one of those who left for a new party simply to come out overnight, say A about B. You know, I don't imagine that that's the right thing to do. So when I quit my role as spokesperson, I said I did so on personal grounds. And I think that my choice of the PDP is also personal. I do not want to discuss my friends on the other side of the aisle. I was there, we stood together. Now I'm standing on this side. Perhaps, let me sound like Dino. Dino says, once he was blind, now he can see.
So what were you blind to? Were you blind to the way things were done and you kept quiet? Were you blind to the way you were treated and you kept quiet and now you can see and you decided to leave? People have accused you of, you wanted to be chairman of the party and you were denied.
Who did I tell? Who did I tell? It's not true. I was content with doing what I was doing. Very content. Yes, I went to the war front, even though without weapons. I went to the war front. I stood in the war front. I fought like a gallant soldier. I didn't complain. But I didn't want to have the Uriah treatment. Uriah went to war, came back home to see King David. He was asked to go home. He didn't go home. He was put in the toughest battlefront, and he got killed.
Yeah, the issue of you having interest to become the chairman, the state chairman of APC, has been the talk of the town. And people have said that is why you've decided to leave the APC.
I think those are mere speculations. I never told anyone I wanted to be chairman of the party. I don't know where that is coming from. I have also heard it. But perhaps the spin doctors in the APC are going to work and they know the truth. The truth, there was never a time we were on the table as possible aspirants. They know what the zoning mechanism is, the mode within the APC. They know. So they shouldn't be saying to me that I, for some reason, aspire to be party chairman. No. Yes, I come from the Rivers East. It was apparent they had zoned the chairmanship to the Rivers East, but certainly not to my part of the Rivers East. It was zoned to the Grouse zone. Let's not pretend about that.
So what really angered you that made you to leave?
I have told you repeatedly. I took a personal decision, and I don't want to, except you want me to spill the beans on my friends, and I won't do that. I won't do that. I will let them help themselves. I hope I will not be forced to make any comments, any remarks relating to those things. Mine is to be mature enough to say to you, what is past, I'm moving forward. I'm not looking backwards.
Some people must have hurt you within the APC.
It doesn't matter. You see, a door has to close, and another door has to open. That's life. Now, I'm not going to spare time to make comments that I consider unnecessary. I believe that whatever it was which influenced my exit will live with me. I'm sure for us and for the APC, there are lessons to learn. Let me stop there.
The day you defected, you said you've been in the wilderness all this while and that you were living the wilderness. At what point did you now discover yourself that, oh, I'm in the wilderness, I've got to go?
All right. You recall that Saul, who later became Paul, was on his way to Damascus. He was going out there to persecute Christians, we are told. And then he came face to face with the light. Light and sound. The vibration which changes all things. You know, so perhaps when I say we were in the wilderness, yes, we always said in the APC that we are leaving Egypt and we're going to the promised land. Yeah. So I heard one man who claimed that he's related to me. There is no Choko, no Barrister Choko in my ward. But I heard them on Classic the other day ranting, claiming he knows me. I've never met him in my life. He says he's a human rights lawyer. I don't know him. That he made outlandish claims, and I had sympathy for him. Great sympathy for him. You know, the point I'm making is, yes, for 6 years, we left a destination that was overtly PDP, and then we moved on, each and every one of us in search of salvation, in search of light, political salvation. And we had to go through the wilderness in search of the promised land. And in those 6 years, I let anybody challenge me. If there was anything significant that was sent to my ethnic nation, I'm not talking about me, it's not about me. I'm talking about what happened to my ethnic nation. I can give you an example. Someone served as executive director, MPA. The one who replaced him came from the same ethnic nation. Then, the other day they said they were constituting a board. Of course, by that time I've already thrown in my paper. Again, they went the same way. What did they give to the Che people? One mayor, member board, college board in Kano or Kaduna, I don't know where. You know? Someone who had just been, who suffered a few months as aide, personal aide to the active managing director of NDDC or whatever. Now, you can, or is it the chairman of NDDC? Now, for an ethnic nation which has 2 local governments, which has solid population, which produces oil in Nigeria, which has 80% of gas deposits south of the River Niger. And these people just didn't count. So you see, I know why I'm very hesitant not to say things. Well, there's a straw man technique. Somebody wants to say it is because of me. It's just not because of me. I'm saying let anyone who is in the APC now, who is from a Che, or let anyone from the Che ethnic nation listening to me at this point at anything significant that the APC has done for the Che nation. I'm talking in terms of the sharing of patronage.
And when you say for the Che Nation, I guess you're also talking about you. I mean, you've been an insider. And the expectation had been, or was, or should be, that when appointments are being made, especially because your friend who is Minister of Transportation, should know about this appointment, and then he didn't consider you. So it's obvious that you're also angry because he did not consider you for some of these appointments.
No, listen, I listened to all kinds of promises. And perhaps it didn't matter if he didn't do it. For 6 years we got promises, we stayed on. So when you want to make me the issue, I said that I'm not the issue. The issue is what was done to my ethnic nation. Perhaps, did I complain when they gave, even the board chairman, board member that gave to someone, did I complain? Did I walk up to the leader to complain? I didn't. I was focused on my assignment. Do you understand? So I do not know how the issue of my interest, personal interest, can override the point that we're trying to make. The point we're trying to make, and I said the other day to the media when I was stepping aside from the APC, I said, if in stepping aside, my ethnic nation will be considered for something nice, worthy, it will be sacrifices were made. Why would I say that? Why would I say that if the issue was me? The issue had never been me. Growing up, I was told in pidgin English, God need to give blind man mirror. And maybe, since all of us were like blind minds in the APC, we couldn't even make out what was right. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. I like to refrain, not to say anything. Except since they want to say things. I hope they will make us say things too. But I want to be mature about what I'm doing, because a part of my life is gone. Yes, more than 14 years of friendship. But I do know that this is politics. It's not personal. It shouldn't be personal.
Would you miss Amaechi? He made you a commissioner.
Made me
press secretary. Gave you the platform to go to House of Reps. He's your leader. He's your friend. Would you miss him?
He was my leader.
He was your leader. Okay, right.
Now, you can understand why I will not discuss my friend. Does it make sense?
So will you miss him?
Life, we were taught something in literature. Interestingly, my friend also is an English graduate, and so a literature student. Life is about meeting. It's about partying. But I hope that the future is a great healer. Time, place, circumstances will take responsibility for this period. For me, he's my friend.
Yeah, but will you miss him? You have left.
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say at this point. The fact that we are speaking about him in a very reflective mode suggests that there were relationships that were shared. And it's not something you just smash, you know. I don't know whether you want me to say yes or no, but we all, including you who is interviewing me, we are social scientists, and we know you don't have exact answer some of the times.
On YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Goshen TV. This is The Tonic.